Hey everyone, in this Vinyasa practice we are going to be building some heat within our upper body and our core, working towards some arm balances and inversions, including our crow pose, our Kakasana, as well as our Tripod Headstand. We're going to be threading through the theme of building resilience, and this was inspired by something that happened in my garden this week. I have been tending to some seedlings that have grown from seed, and initially I had them tucked away in a glass house because we've had some crazy storms here in the last couple of weeks. Anyway, over the weekend I put them out on the deck and pretty much all of them flopped over and died. And the reason why that happened was because they hadn't been exposed to the elements, the wind, the rain, the sun. And so they all kind of collapsed. And I feel that's pretty similar to us as humans. We need to have moments of pressure, moments of stress, ideally in a controlled environment that is voluntary, because that builds our capacity to be able to withhold stress when we experience it in the real world. So you might experience physical stress, maybe mental stress, pressure within this practice, but know that it is really good for you and building resilience. Let's get started in a seated position, and if you did have 2 blocks to bring into your practice, then grab those for later on. For the moment I'm just going to sit up onto one. We're going to practice some pranayama before we head into some movement. So once you've landed in a seat, find a tall spine, lift through the crown of the head, but tuck the chin in towards the chest so that the back of the neck is long. Collarbones are broad, but the shoulder blades gently squeeze down the spine. Hips are heavy, hands are heavy. And if you haven't already, just closing the eyes. Noticing the breath as it comes in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathing deep into the belly, the ribs and the chest. And then as you exhale, letting the lungs deflate. And continue with these breaths. We are going to focus on our retention, on our Kumbhaka breath. Okay, and we'll initially start with holding the breath after the inhalation. And then if you felt more adventurous, you could try holding the breath after the exhalation, which is a little more challenging. For me, this is a great lesson in learning how to sit in discomfort and know that it's okay. Before we begin, big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Pause and hold the breath. Noticing where you can soften, maybe around the face, maybe around the shoulders. Exhale through the nose. Let's try that again. Inhale through the nose. Pause and hold. Exhale through the nose. And just continue in your own breath, Feel free to extend the retentions, or if you wanted to switch it up to holding the breath after the exhalation, you can do that too. One more cycle of breath. Once you've completed your round of breath, just returning to neutral inhales and exhales. You might keep the eyes closed for this, but just clasp your hands into fists and roll out the wrists. And swapping directions of the circles. Interlace the fingertips. Let's create a little wave through our hands. So we are going to be playing on our hands a bit today, so we just want to make sure our forearms, our wrists are warm and ready to move. And then if you're sitting on a block or something, let's just remove that. Come into tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread the fingertips really wide. Let's take some circles on the wrists. And then swapping directions of the circles. Continue with this, maybe shifting forward or back. If you felt like a little more, you can tuck toes, hover the knees off the ground, keeping the spine super long. Bringing some heat into the core and the shoulders. Two more breaths. Feel free to just hold. If you are holding with me, just puffing up through your upper back, protracting your shoulders. And then lowering the knees down to the ground. Use your next breath in, drop the belly down, cow pose. As you exhale, round the back, tuck the chin in towards the chest. Inhale to open. Exhale to round and close. Let's go 2 more breaths. Maybe adding on some side to side motion with the ribs. Coming back through center, step your hands slightly more forward, tuck onto the toes, hover the knees off the ground again. Big breath in through the nose. As you exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. You might pedal out the feet here, dropping one heel down, dropping the other heel down. And as we move today, listen to your breath. You might like to constrict the back of your throat for your Ujjayi pranayama, creating that wave-like sound, especially on the exhalation, which is going to help focus our mind, keep us more connected to our body. Hands press down into the ground, knuckles ground down, shifting the chest back towards the thighs. Use your next breath in, sweep the right toes high, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, roll forward, right knee to right elbow. Step the right foot outside the right hand. Shift forward, lift the left toes high, standing splits. You might be on your fingertips here. As you exhale, left knee to left tricep, left armpit, and then step the foot wide as well. Malasana, garland pose. Toes are out, hips sink down, maybe hands to chest, lifting through the chest, squeezing shoulder blades back. Big breath in through the nose. Exhaling to fold forward. Let's come halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, walk feet underneath the hips. Rise up through standing, big breath in. As we exhale, send it straight back down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, hands to shins. As we exhale, plant the hands down, step back into your plank. Shift your weight forward, inhale, and then ground your knees. As you exhale, chaturanga, tuck the elbows in, either coming halfway or try to get the chest down to the ground. Inhale, push back up, high plank. 2 more times, exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. As you exhale, child's pose this time. You can stay here or look forward. Big breath in, grounding the elbows as you shift forward, either cobra or upward facing dog. Knees, hips off the ground. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Coming over your toes. Pushing your hands down, shifting chest back. Inhale, sweep your left toes high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, left knee to left elbow. Step the left foot outside the left hand. Inhale, standing splits, shift forward, come onto fingertips. Exhale, right knee to right tricep or armpit. Step the foot wide, malasana. Inhale as you lower the hips, hands to chest. Exhale, squeeze glutes, push the elbows down, out into the knees. Let's come straight into halfway lift. This time, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold, walk your feet in. Rise through standing, inhale, ripple the spine, squeeze glutes. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Halfway lift again. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. Shift your weight forward, inhale, lower the knees. Exhale, tuck elbows in, chaturanga, option to come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale to push. One more. And then child's pose. Stay here or look forward, shift forward. Inhaling to your back bend of choice. Exhaling, sending it up and back. Downward facing dog. Take one breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. Inhale, right toes high. Exhale, roll forward, right knee to right elbow. Step it out. Inhale, left toes high. Shift the chest down. Exhale, tuck the knee in. Step it wide. Inhale, drop the hips. Malasana. Exhale, hold. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Walk feet underneath the hips. Rise up. Big breath in. Push the feet down into the ground. Look up. Exhale, fold again. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. Option on the toes this time. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, halfway or all the way down. Inhale, push back up. Exhale. Inhale, one more. Exhale. Inhale, knees come down. Shift your hips back, child's pose, look forward, inhale. Push the hands down, press through the tops of the feet. Exhale, coming back. One breath. The only way to get better at those chaturangas is to do them. Left toes high, inhale. Exhale, roll forward, left knee to left elbow. Step it wide, inhale, standing splits. Exhale, hug it in. Step it wide, inhale, malasana. Hold for your exhale. Hips high, inhale, half lift. Exhale, walk feet under. Rise up, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, step back. Shift forward, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, keep the core really switched on, keeping the spine still as you push it up. One more. Whew. Knees come down, hips come back, stay here or roll forward. Inhale, shoulders away from the ears. Exhaling, coming back, downward facing dog. One more time with that sequence. Inhale, step the right toes high. Exhale, roll forward. Right knee to right elbow, step it wide. Inhale, left toes high. Hug the chest towards the thighs. Exhale, knee to armpit, then step it wide. Malasana, inhale. Exhale. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold, walk feet under. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Half lift. This time, if you want to try your crow pose, this is where we can do so. Hands come down about shoulder width distance, so a little wider than what you might think. Spread fingertips wide. You're going to bend your elbows back. Bring the knees to the back of the elbows. Eye gaze underneath the head. You might keep the feet down on the ground, or keep shifting forward, lifting one foot up towards your hips, and then the other foot up as well. Keep the elbows tucked in, puffing up through your upper back. One more breath. And then either step or hop back into plank. Inhale. Just one time, this time exhale. Inhale, knees come down. Exhale, shift back. You might like to stay here or roll forward. Exhaling, down dog. Last time, and then we get a little bit of rest. Left toe sweep high, breath in. Exhale, roll forward. Step it outside. Inhale. Exhale. Malasana, inhale. Exhale, heart to thumbs, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, walk under. Rise up, inhale. Exhale, send it down. Half lift, inhale. Stay here or crow pose again. If you're a little confused about where to place your knees on your arms, the best thing to do is just try a few different places. I prefer to have my knees a little further down on my arms, so it's less on the fleshy part of the tricep, more stacking on the bone of the elbow. But have a go, you might be different. Find your way back to plank. Last time here, big breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift up, knees come down. Exhale, child's pose. Wow, my arms shoot forward. Inhale. This time, let's all come to child's pose. Knees coming down, hips sinking back. Walk yourself back. Maybe shake out the wrists. So we've got one more sequence. We're going to repeat it one time each side. If you've got your blocks, you might like to bring that in. A little more upper body. Know that you can take rests at any point as well. So you're going to bring the hands or the block shoulder width distance, hands on the lower setting. We're going to practice those chaturangas again. Again, you might only go in line with the chest. Chest in line with elbow height. If you're feeling pretty good, then you might go chest to the ground. That's super challenging. On your knees or your toes. When you're ready, find your plank position. We're just going to do one to begin with. So big breath in, shift your weight forward. As you exhale, maybe coming down to the ground. Pushing back up, big breath in, this time downward facing dog, lifting your hips. Or you can come to child's pose instead. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push up. Exhale, down dog. 2 more times, roll forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Holding in downward facing dog. So hinging from your hips. You might stay here. You could take your right hand around the side of the block and reach it towards your right hip. Okay, so you're lengthening it long. It's gonna be hard for me because my blocks are super slidey on the sand. You might stay here or left toe sweep high as well. So you're kind of in like a two-legged dog position. It's easier if you can get your heel towards the ground. If you don't have a block, you can just use your hand. One more breath. Try to keep your left foot off the ground if it's there. Roll yourself forward, two-legged plank. Maybe right hand reaches forward with the block. Big breath in, left knee to left elbow. As you exhale, pivot onto your right heel, extend your left foot out. Broken triangle. Left foot could be off the ground or down. One more breath. Can you lift your hips a little higher? And if you haven't already, lower the foot down, release the block to the front. Slide your left knee in. Slide your right knee in, sitting down on the heels facing the right side of your mat. Maybe you shake out the wrist again. A lot of time spent on our hands. All good things, what we need for our balances. Lift your hips off your heels. Hands come either to your hips or you can reach them behind you, interlacing fingers. Camel pose, big breath in, lifting the chest up. As you exhale, rolling the shoulders back, engaging the glutes, pushing the hips forward. Inhale, coming back through center. As you exhale, place the hands down. You could totally chill here, or Lolasana. We push the tops of the feet into the ground, hugging the knees up to the chest, protracting the shoulder blades, puffing up through your upper back. Lower yourself down. Breathe in, lift up, back to camel. Exhale, your back bend of choice, supported or unsupported. Come back through center, inhale. As you exhale, hands down, hug the knees up. The further behind your hands are, the harder this becomes. One more time, breathe in, lower down. Exhale, Camel Ustrasana. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, Lolasana. Hold. Shoulders away from the ears. And then lower yourself down. If you haven't already, just move your left block to the front as well. So you're either going to plant your hands down and step to your wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. If you wanted to try jumping, you'll tuck your toes, shift your weight into your hands. You'll kind of try to lift your hips above your hips above your hands. So big breath in, hold the breath, push. Might be for half a second like me, but eventually taking the feet wide, folding. Maybe there's a little shift from side to side. You could have the hands interlaced, pulling the knuckles over your head, just like we did before. In our camel pose. One more breath. Hands come under shoulders, halfway lift, inhale. As we exhale, turn to the front. Bring your right knee down. Nice little stretch for the hips we're gonna do here. Roll into the outer edge of your left foot. You might bring your left hand to your left inner knee as you push it away. Another option here is to come down to the right elbow. Maybe looking over the left shoulder. One more breath. Keep the legs where they are. Tuck right toes, lift the right knee off the ground. We're going to step back to side plank, maybe on the forearms. Lower the right heel down. Sweep your left foot back. Option right knee on the ground. Left hand over the ears. Take a big breath in. Lift the hips. As you exhale, lower the hips. Let's just try that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. If you want to make this harder, Left leg off the ground. One more time, big breath in. As you exhale, roll to your front Sphinx pose. Hips come down, elbows come down, forearms parallel. Big breath in through the nose. Engage the glutes. Hold for the exhale. Lower yourself down to the ground. Hands come by the ribs. You can push up onto your knees or tuck toes, lift the knees off. High plank, big breath in. Exhale, ground the knees. Hips back, look forward. Roll forward into your back bend of choice, big breath in. As you exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose, it is up to you. Bring the knees down to the ground. Grab the blocks again if you had them. We're just going to do that one more time on the other side before we get to have a little more play in our crow pose and in our tripod headstand. Same thing as before. Hands about shoulder width distance. Knees or toes building that resilience, our tolerance for stress. Shift your weight forward, breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Roll forward again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you want to make this harder, you can do this on the mid block. I'm just going to give that a go because I want to see what I can do. Roll forward, breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Woo. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do one more. Why not? Breathe in. We like getting strong, right? Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, holding here. Left hand with or without the block, reach it towards your left hip. Now you can stay here. I feel my block slipping away. Or right toes could sweep high as well. At any point you can just bring your right hand down to the ground. Two-legged dog. Use your next breath in, roll forward, two-legged plank. Holding for your exhale. Maybe left hand reaches forward as well. Little squeeze of the glutes to help stabilize the hips. Inhale, right knee to right elbow. As you exhale, lower the left heel down as you kick your right foot out to the side. Lift your hips. Right knee comes down. Ooh. Lower the blocks to the front. Slide your left knee in to meet it as well. Facing the left side of the mat here. Maybe a little shake out of the arms. Active camel, inhale, lift up. Hands could come behind the hips, or as you exhale, maybe fingers interlace as you pull the knuckles down. Only into a range that feels good for you. Come back up, inhale. As you exhale, hands come down, Lolasana. Lower down, breathe in. Lift up. Exhale, pull. Inhale. Exhale, curl. One more. Maybe knuckles can touch one of your calves. Breathe in. Lolasana last time, hands further back, remember is harder. And then lower. Little shake out of the wrists again. We're going to make our way into our Prasarita Padottanasana. You can walk there, you could try a little hop there. Hands down, tucking toes. It's going to be fun. And then try to push yourself up. Landing feet wide. Holding forward. Option here to come into tripod headstand from your wide-legged forward fold. What you're going to do is imagine your head, the top of your head being the top of the triangle, and your hands being the bottom of the triangle, equilateral triangle. So you're going to bend forward, bring the crown of the head down to the ground, so the flat part of the head, hands shoulder width distance. You're going to come high onto your toes. This is where you might stay. Otherwise, use your core, lifting your feet up. Maybe lifting the feet above the head. And then trying to slowly lower down. I'm on a slope here, so I could just feel myself rolling down the hill. Okay. Anyway, big breath in, lift halfway. As you exhale, turn your right toes forward, land the left hand down, left knee comes down. Outer edge of the right foot comes down, lift the inner arch of the foot, right hand comes to the inside of the knee, push away, open the chest. Option for the left elbow to come down as well. One more breath. Tuck left toes, lift the left knee off the ground. We transition into our side plank, lower the left heel down, step your right foot back. Option to hover the right foot, maybe knee bent or long, big breath in, right arm over the head. As you exhale, lower the hips down to the ground. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. Last one. Lower yourself down, Sphinx pose. Forearms parallel with each other. Imagining your elbows pulling back towards your ribs. And then lower yourself down to the ground, hands by the ribs, push up onto your knees. This time, let's all just finish in our child's pose. Hands could be reaching towards the side of the feet. Start to walk yourself up. And shake out the wrists again. So we're going to have 2 rounds where we play with our arm balances. First round, we're all going to hold crow pose. If your arms aren't already dead, hopefully not. Second round, option to head into our tripod headstand from our crow pose. Now, if you are more new to Kakasana, then having blocks handy for underneath your feet is a really good option. If you know where you're going, then you can head straight in. But if you wanted to use the blocks, what you'll do is bring the hands down, just like we did before. Bring your toes up onto the block, could be 1, could be 2. The higher your hips, the easier it's going to be to transfer forward. And then bending the elbows back. Bringing the knees on top of the elbows. You might keep the feet grounded on the blocks to help support the weight, or you can try lift the feet off. It's all trial and error. Taking about 5 to 8 more slow breaths. And slowly coming down. If you've got those blocks, you might just like to sit up onto them, making it really easy for yourself. Your little shake out of the wrists. Might even like to close the eyes down. We are building a lot of pressure in our hands and our wrists, but again, that pressure, that stress on the muscles, on the tendons, the ligaments, it's good. It's good. So, second round, you can do the exact same thing. You could chill out. If you want to get into your tripod headstand from crow, we can do that as well, and I'll help cue you in for that. So set yourself up in your crow. And then if you're with me, you're going to tuck your chin in towards the chest, landing the crown of the head down on the ground. Again, making that triangle. This should feel relatively stable. From here, you're going to try lift the knees off, coming into a tuck where your hips are stacked on top of your shoulders. And if you're like me, you might be wobbling around. Just come out, take a breath, come back into it. From there, you might lift one foot up to the sky, maybe two. Hard part is if you want to come back through crow pose, bring the knees back down onto the elbows, using the grip in your hands to lift your head off. Is it going to happen? Not really. That's okay too. Shake out the wrists again. Wow. Okay, let's wind things down pretty quickly. This tide is coming in. I feel like we deserve a good stretch. Let's come into our pigeon pose. We kind of warmed up with this in our lunge position. We did it earlier. Just sliding your right leg forward, left leg back. Big breath in through the nose. And as we exhale, maybe bringing the elbows down to the ground. If you do have that block here, I find it can be really nice to bring the forehead down onto the block, maybe on its second setting or its lower setting. Pulling the left hip towards the right ankle. Let's go 2 more breaths. And you might stay here if you wanted a very subtle back bend variation. Kind of imagine Sphinx pose with the elbows down, your chest lifted. To make this a little higher, you can bring your elbows down onto your blocks. First setting, maybe second setting. You might imagine that same squeeze of the shoulders, the drawing of the elbows beside the ribs. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Roll yourself up and just sink into your right hip. Sweep the left foot forward. And then we'll do that on the other side. Right foot reaches around. Let's fold forward first. Big breath in. Big breath out, lowering down. Right hip to left ankle. And see if you can ground your head onto something, whether that's the block, hands, floor. Take one more big breath in. Big breath out. You can stay here if you wanted to find a back bend variation, just adjusting yourself as you'd like. Another option is to come onto the hands, and that's going to bring more extension into your spine. But I feel like we've done a lot on our hands today. I'm pretty happy to be off them. One more breath. And roll onto your left hip again. Sweep your right leg around. Bring one block to the front, one block, take it with you. We're gonna roll onto our back and finish with a twist each side. Just bring your block to the left side of your mat, kind of in line with the hip. Maybe on its lowest setting or the mid setting. Pull the right knee to the chest. Might take some circles side to side. And then take a big breath in through the nose. Shuffle your hips to the right. As you exhale, pull the right knee over to the left until it lands on the block. Adjust the settings as you need. I need to go a little higher just so that we can be more passive with our twist. If you didn't have a block, that's totally okay as well. You could look down the right arm. One more big breath here. Let's change to the other way. So move the block over to the right. Hug the left knee up into the chest. A little tuck up the chin here. Inhale as you shift your hips to the left. As you exhale, pull the left knee to the right, landing on the block again. Left arm extending out to the side, grounding the left shoulder down. One more breath here. And coming back through center, setting up for our Savasana. If there are any final movements or wriggles you'd like to take before we rest, go for it. Otherwise, you could extend the legs out long, knees could be bent. Tuck the chin in. Open the collarbones, maybe there's a scooping of the shoulder blades underneath you. Soften the breath. Soften the body. And sometimes slowing down is the hard part. So we're still building resilience here as we look inwards and listen to what's going on underneath the surface. Come back to the breath. Taking 3 really deep breaths before we move again. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Hugging knees towards the chest. And slowly rolling ourselves up through a seat. Landing with our eyes closed. thanking ourselves for turning up to our practice, knowing that even if we encounter moments of hardship, of pressure, of stress on the mat, it's going to make us much more resilient humans off the mat. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let it go. Thank you, my friends. Whew, what a day. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and I can't wait to hear from you. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you again sometime soon, whether that's here on YouTube or on Patreon, where we have some longer, more exclusive classes. I'll see you next time.